Nicked it anyway. Oh, what's this here? Hello. Yeah, no, I was fine. Oh, good. Oh, cheers. Thank you. Yep. Now, which program did we work on? I know I worked with you sometime before. Testing. Okay. So. Was that the NSA? Slimy bastards. Anyway, yes, I suppose I'll do it to that song again. I haven't got any music in my head. Although, now you should all go. It's not easy to do with that, you know. I was going to do grasshopper. Grasshopper. Anyway, it's all silly, really. It's all silly. No, I should. Yeah, you need music, and you know, I sometimes go down and play them all over people, and I'll see if I can do that with this under these circumstances. Normally, you wouldn't think that you'd need two legs to play the spoons. But you do. Hello. For you? Oh, yeah.
How does it affect your acting when you know that, for the most part, the audience in Britain is children and in the U.S. is largely adults?
Yes, that's an interesting question, that, really. I mean, it's not. I mean, the audience, the British audience, originally, the program was designed as an educational tool to encourage people into science. We had a Prime Minister at the time, Harold Wilson, and he talked about the white heat of technology. And in a way, this was part of the process of trying to encourage children to get interested in science. That's how it started. And then, because of where it was placed on a Saturday, it was a very family day. People who might have been out playing sports and things like that would come back, and they would look for the sports results on television. And then just after the sports program, they brought on Doctor Who. So then it became a program that fathers and sons and then daughters and mothers watched. And then it became a program that the whole family watched. It became a completely all-family program. But it was children were in mind. And I know that when it came over here, it didn't have that kind of history, so it was mainly adults. There was still, I mean, many, many, many young adults watch, or 30s and people like that are great to watch Doctor Who. And even now, it's hugely popular amongst all ages in Britain. So, that's quite interesting. I thought you were going to ask a question about English audiences and audiences abroad. As an actor, people say, and I'm not sure if this is true, but it's quite nice to hear it, that, British actors are pretty good. And that, especially theatre actors. And I have a theory why we're so good. Because if you trying acting to an English audience, especially an English audience, is trying to get blood out of a stone. I mean, you really, really, really have to act your socks off. And one of the great joys of coming to America, I did 2 tours of America. One was in a Spanish play, Calderon's Life is a Dream, and we brought it to New York. Excuse me, I'm burping. And we brought it to New York, and it was oh gosh, it was glorious. American audiences were wonderful. And then the same thing happened with King Lear. We did King Lear in Britain, and trying to get a laugh out of that lot was just a waste of time. When we came to America, people just were glorious. So that was interesting.
I disagree. I found you funny my whole life, so
Oh no, thank you. But you didn't laugh in England. You laugh over here.
I just wanted to ask. I know they moved it from Saturday to Mondays, and I know Michael Gray expressed disinterest in the show. Do you think they moved it deliberately to kill it off?
Yes, they did. They decided to take it out of its much-loved slot, which had been in for many years, and they also started. They used it to test up against other programs on the other side.
Coronation Street, I believe.
Yeah, Coronation Street. And they wanted to kind of kill it off. And they succeeded, really. But not completely, because the fans, especially the British fans, kept it alive. And I suppose American fans as well, by supporting the British kind of fans. And we came back. And it was a good, at the time, British television was heavily into reality programs. Still is, too many, but it had too many. And they thought that was the death of drama in television. And then Doctor Who came back with a vengeance and blew the ratings out of the water. And that was, and now, a result, we've got doing lots of drama on television in Britain. But, the producers are sometimes so unimaginative and so out of touch. They just have to be shown something new and exciting, and they all try and copy it. But drama is a great thing to copy because it's so infinitely different. It's not like the same reality show with different wigs and stuff on it.
So coming up on a new regeneration, I have 2 questions. First of all, is there an actor that you would absolutely hate to see up there as the new Doctor that they can think of as like, oh my God? Oh, and second of all, considering it's an English show, why hasn't there been an Indian Doctor?
Well, no, good question. No, because you actually, I've been asked this question, who do you think should be the Doctor? And someone said to me, do you know Peter, what's his name? Anyway, I can't remember his name. He's an actor who plays this character on a comedy series about politics in our country. It's absolutely brilliant. But the character swears like a trooper all the time. And I can't remember his name. It's Peter Capaldi, that's it, well done. And someone said maybe Peter Capaldi would be the next Doctor. And I wrote back, well, the air would be blue in the blue box if he was the next Doctor. I also wrote back, I thought we should have a black Doctor. We've got lots of amazing, black actors in Britain, and that would be good. I'm not really thinking about Indian, but I mean, that's just, that'd be great too. Yeah, I know, we got enough Indian doctors, I can tell you, thank goodness. I mean, there wouldn't be too many Britons left if we didn't went for the Indian doctors that came over and kept us alive. Yeah, so no, I mean, for me, a coloured doctor would be great, I think that would be terrific. But we'll know very soon, won't we? Oh my God.
If there was a pink planet, would you think one of the doctors should go?
If there was a pink planet, you're wearing a bit pink, aren't you? You like pink. What was the other bit? I got the pink planet.
Would one of the doctors would go?
Where one of the doctors would go if there were a pink planet? Yes. I would go to a pink planet, because I've been to one. And I felt I was in the pink. I think, that's terrible. I'm leaving now. A terrible joke.
With all the companions you've worked with, what do you think was the best one to work with? Companions.
Well, I mean, in television I've only worked with two, really. But on the audios I've worked with quite a few others. Oh, that's a difficult question. I mean, you know, because Bonnie and Sophie are both my friends, and, you know, I like them both, and they were very different, and it was a different experience. I enjoyed working with both of them. I didn't answer your question about who I'd hate to see as a doctor, by the way. Hitler. I'm not...
You mentioned that you were allowed to take the Doctor in kind of a darker direction. That's something that you wanted to explore. Was there an arc or dimension that you had wanted to explore that you weren't able to, either because they shot it down or you didn't have time?
Yes. Yeah. No, the idea was that in the 4th season, we were going to peel the onion and scrape, you know, take off some more layers. And underneath, we had this kind of plan that the Doctor would actually have been one of the triumvirate that had created the Gallifreyan society. That was the plan. So he, you know, so in fact, he was a much more powerful entity than had previously been the case. Someone's stolen the lights. Where have they gone? Oh, good. Anyway, so that was the plan, really, to do that. Bring back the mystery. That was my, you know, real ambition. To make the audience wonder, who? Make that who is he? Who? What? Why? Can we trust this? And, you know, just, yeah, it was more. And we kind of got, strong hints were laid in the last season that I managed to do. So that's what,
This may have been asked already, but in your experience as being the Doctor or one of your other significant roles, what was the most meaningful, poignant moment that you experienced because of that?
Well, poignant. So sometimes when I meet, you know, I met people who come up to me and say that because of Doctor Who, you know, they were very unhappy before and then one night they just happened to watch a story of Doctor Who, and it moved them and helped them, and, you know, and I think that's very touching, that how much effect we can have. I've met many scientists and also IT people in Silicon Valley, and they've come up to me and said, because of you, you know, I've pursued this career. And I know that other actors in science fiction have told me the same thing happens to them. That's very moving. Sometimes I think I was in the north of Ireland, and, you know, there was great, during the Troubles in the last year where they were still trying to kill each other, because, you know, they saw Jesus their way and the other one saw him his way, and they couldn't see it the same way. And some of them were brought together because they discovered they were fans of Doctor Who. And, you know, that was pretty powerful. I thought, wow. But something that did happen to me, which I'm very, very proud of, is that I did actually once become, just testing. He didn't flinch, nearly, but I did become a superhero. That was when we were making Battlefield. And Sophie was in a glass tank. She was in this big, huge glass tank in the studio. And the idea was that the tank was filling up with water, and she was banging on the, you know, the glass. And we were actually underground in a cave, and this glass had come down and trapped her, and she was going to be drowned. She was banging, going, and I'm going, Ace! Ace! All that stuff. And I suddenly realized that the tank was bowing, the glass was bowing out, you know, like that. And I thought, this isn't right. And that was glass, it was huge. There was tons of water in there, gallons of the stuff being poured in. It was all coming up to here on Sophie. And I thought, I've got to save her, I've got to get her out of there. So with the most commanding voice I could, you know, shout, I said, get her out of there. And luckily, on top, there were two guys just pouring the water in, and they automatically just grabbed her hands. Sophie didn't know what was going on. She was just, her hands luckily were up in the air. She's going, help, help. And they grabbed her and pulled her out. And as they pulled her out, the glass broke and there were tons of water came pouring out. And we were in the studio and there was electric everywhere, electrical wires all over the place. So I ran for some wooden stairs and shouted, switch off the electricity. And I saved the day. I was very proud of that. Yeah, I saved Sophie's life, I think, because, well, she could have been cut to pieces, but, you know, she could have been drowned, she could have been battered with the force of the water, she could have been electrocuted, whatever it was. So I was very pleased, you know, to be a superhero when I wasn't wearing my underpants on the outside of my trousers. So I thought that was So, anyway. Whee! What time is it now? Any idea? Yep.
Do you have a favorite TV show or movie?
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching Breaking Bad. I think the acting in that is astonishing. I mean, I thought it was immensely... I think it was 4 seasons. I missed them all because I was filming in New Zealand. But then when I got back home, I got Netflix and I kind of... I did one of what's this new phenomena, which is just sitting indoors and watching hours and hours of television and slowly going insane. I enjoyed it immensely, except for the 5th season. I thought I got lost. They only did 5 or 6 episodes. I don't know, I haven't really caught up if they've done any more. I enjoyed that. House of Cards was great. Kevin Spacey. Homeland, yeah. That was good. Doctor Who. Star Trek.
Yes.
The Olympic opening.
I've been...
No, I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I missed it. I do want to watch it. So it's one of those weekends I'm going to lock myself in, and then I'll come out completely bananas.
I've read some Doctor Who stories written in the 70s, and they mentioned that there would only be 12 incarnations of the Doctor. This Doctor coming up is going to be the 12th incarnation. Have they thought of that?
I'm sure they have, really. You know, I'm sure they'll open another door on the TARDIS and find it was 21, it was written backwards. Hello. Oh, you're my TARDIS, you've come to take me home. You're late. You look great.
Thank you.
And who's that? Is that your companion? Is that the Doctor and you're the companion?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, good. That's good. Cheers. Anyway, well, it's only 12 minutes to go. So, anyone else? If someone else asks a question. Oh, yes, have you stopped playing your iPod game?
Where did the Cybermen come from?
Cyberspace. I'm so clever. Actually, I have no idea where they came from. I just presumed that was it.
Do you think a laugh track would have ruined the show?
Yes. I think a laugh track ruins every show, really. I do. I mean, we were very lucky in Britain. We got MASH without the laugh track. And honestly, we didn't know there was a laugh track. We never knew. We just watched it. And it was brilliant and funny and sophisticated and amazing. And we weren't being dictated to by someone else's laugh. You know, it was our response. And then when I came over here and saw it with the laugh track, I thought, ooh, it doesn't work. I don't think laugh track works for anything. If you sometimes watch, I mean, in Britain, when we put laugh tracks on, it's because the people in the audience weren't laughing. So it wasn't very funny, so they've had to put a laugh track on. So anyway, I mean, Doctor Who with a laugh track. Exterminate. It's a cracker. I love it.
Before you took the role of Doctor Who, I'm sure that it was already 20 years in, but after you took the role, was there anything that surprised you after taking that role, like the breadth of how big the fandom was, or just how big the role was going to be after the series was done?
Yeah. No, it was. It was when I... a few things kind of... The fandom, I didn't really know about the fandom because I hadn't been in touch with the program, and I had no idea it was even watched over here. I got the job on the Monday, and on the Thursday they flew me to Atlanta, Georgia for a convention. Now, I'd never been to a convention, nor did I know what a convention was, except for once watching Lorne and Hardy in Sons of the Desert, or one of those stories, and yes, they went to a convention. Lorne and Hardy went to a convention, and they were all wearing silly little hats, like, you know, Doctor Who wears now, really. And I thought, wow, that's what a convention is. I arrived in Atlanta, and it was a heat wave, and we went to, it was a university, and as I got out the car, I was greeted by these people coming in the heat, tall chaps, dressed as Tom Baker, with big long coats, huge scarves, big curly wigs, and hair. You know, I thought, these people are completely bananas. In this heat, they're crazy. And then there were some ladies there of some proportional size who decided they were much wiser in their choice of costume because they dressed as Leela. But it wasn't the prettiest sight you'd ever seen, but it was interesting. That was my first convention, and I loved it. I always adored the conventions, and I loved it. And the producer said to me after the first one, he said, "You've taken to this like a duck to water."
Is there any companion that you would have liked to travel with, any past or since your time?
Companion, yeah, well, I would like to have traveled with Rose. Billie Piper, I mean, I thought she was astonishing. And I think she nearly upstaged Doctor Who, really. She was so wonderful. And in a way, Billie Piper was what we wanted, or I wanted Sophie's Ace to be. But the producer wasn't as adventurous in the fact that, although she was supposed to be a streetwise kid, she didn't have a kind of a streetwise accent. You know, still a bit English posh. And I wished that, in a way, it could have been... And so when Billie came along and played Rose in that way, I thought, wow, that's the companion I wanted. You know, Ace was brilliant and marvelous, but it wasn't her fault. She wasn't allowed to do it because the producer wrongly thought that Americans, you know, wouldn't take to it. And they were, how wrong he was. So, yeah, I'd like her to be my companion.
I watched Ghostlight last night, and I was wondering if it's true that not even the actors knew what in God's name was happening.
True. Yes, I still don't know what happened. I mean, I've asked the author what happened, and I don't think he knew what happened. He did say, someone said, yes, read the book, it will tell you what happened. It was a shame, really. I mean, I enjoyed the writing of the character of the Doctor in it. I thought he did a very good job. And it was interesting, you know, for Sophie's to play the part too. She was given a lot to do, but I have no idea what's going on. But then that's what life is. We have no idea what's going on, do we?
What movie or TV show did you have the most fun filming?
Movie, TV show, most fun filming. Which one? Well, I'm blessed by the fact I really enjoy my work. The very few parts I've played, there have been some which I've hated, and I can't remember what they are now. I just got rid of them out of my brain. But I generally actually have a great time doing whatever one. I love doing Doctor Who. It was such fun. You know, it was just glorious to walk down the street in Britain, and people loved the Doctor. They still love the Doctor. And to be loved, you know, is just such a joy. But I mean, I played, I did Eric Satie, who was a great French eccentric composer. I played him joyfully. I played all sorts of parts. Sylvester McCoy, the human bomb, the one I talked about earlier. And I've done all sorts of things. Doing Radagast the Brown, I've enjoyed.
Which actor or contemporary would you most like to have been able to work with, or would you most like still to be able to work with that you haven't?
Jack Lemmon. I'd like to have worked with Jack Lemmon, really. Walter Matthau. Alec Guinness. I worked with a few. Who would I like now? Jack. I'd like to work with Jack. Are you coming to me? Yes. I'm turning around. Mind your toes. Just to make a quick, a quick escape.
So I imagine you've gotten to travel to many places over the years. What's been one of your favorite places to have gone in the world?
Well, I've traveled, yes. I've been blessed. I mean, I've enjoyed traveling, and I still do. I think one of the place recently was Barcelona. I loved to go to Barcelona. That was beautiful. But I mean, everywhere I go, I get very fascinated by. I love New York and Washington and San Francisco, LA. I've traveled the highways and byways. I've done it my way. Yes, no, I saw her actually. You know. So yeah, the world I love traveling to. I've just come back from the desert. I was 1 week. I was in the south of South Island in New Zealand, where in the glaciers and snow and mountains, and then a week later I was in Dubai in the desert. And are you leaving? Is it something I said? Oh, have you? Oh, great. I never noticed. Oh, that was you, the one. Get off. Well, I think it's, maybe one more question.
I'm just curious, do the actors who play the Doctor actually know the actual name of the Doctor, or is that a big secret that nobody knows?
Well, no, his name is... No, he hasn't got a name, the man with no name. Do you know the name of the Doctor?
Nope. I've always wondered.
Yeah, the TARDIS doesn't even know the name of the Doctor. So I don't know the name. His name is Doctor Who. It's most likely, it's a name that can only be said so high and registered so high that only a dog would understand it. That's why you've never heard it. Anyway, thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience, and thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very good job.